If you think you're bad with money because you're always spending exactly what you make or wondering if you have enough, it turns out you're not bad with money. It's just the way the system's designed. And the people who have the most often have this the worst. What nobody ever told you is that the system is designed in an extractive way that's actually mining us so that the corporations and their shareholders can make as much as possible. For years, I thought there was something wrong with me because I was always afraid I was gonna run out of money. I had $1 million business. Then I had $2 million businesses. Why was I still worried about running out of money? You're not bad with money. The system is designed to make you think that you are. The key to your liberation is if you think you're bad with money because you're always spending exactly what you make or wondering if you have enough, well, you're gonna wanna watch this video because it turns out you're not bad with money. It's just the way the system's designed. And the people who have the most often have this the worst. I'm Katz, personal family lawyer and family wealth advisor, here to help you grow up around money. For years, I thought there was something wrong with me because I was always afraid I was gonna run out of money. And it really didn't make any sense. I started working at 14. I bought my first car. I put myself through college and law school. I always had enough money. So then when I got my first job making 6 figures, how could it be that I still felt broke? That really didn't make any sense whatsoever. And it really didn't make sense after I built $2 million businesses and I still felt broke. I still felt afraid that I was gonna run out of money. And I was sure there must be something wrong with me because I would spend 90-minute yoga classes, the entire class, the numbers running through my mind. Am I gonna be able to make payroll? Should I make that next investment? All of these thoughts, I'm gonna run out of money. In fact, I remember every time I would go to the grocery store and I would give my debit card, is it gonna get declined? Where were these thoughts coming from? I had $1 million business. Then I had $2 million businesses. Why was I still worried about running out of money? So I figured it out, and I coined a term for it, and it's called money dysmorphia. It's the distorted view that we have around our financial reality that causes us to sacrifice our non-renewable resources, time, energy, attention, relationships, health. Those are at the individual level. At the planetary level, our non-renewable resources. We sacrifice all of it for money. And money is infinitely renewable when we know how to use our non-renewable resources. But many of us don't. And I certainly didn't feel that money was infinitely renewable when I was suffering from money dysmorphia. You might be too. So what nobody ever told you is that the system is designed in an extractive way that's actually mining us. Those of us that are contributing to the system through purchasing goods and services, those of us that are contributing to the system in the form of workers working for the system, but being paid as little as possible so that the corporations and their shareholders can make as much as possible, so that the CEOs can get paid outsized wages, so that the shareholders can make short-term profits at the detriment to all of us that are paying for the goods and services, for the corporation to employ workers and pay them as little as possible. Those workers then need to receive governmental benefits to be able to support themselves, and it's our taxes that are paying for those governmental benefits. The entire system is designed for extraction, and we're the ones that are being extracted from. So it's not that you're bad with money, it's that the system has been designed to make you think that you're bad with money so that we take the blame instead of rising up and seeing that there's something that we can do about this. We can change the nature of the game, but we're gonna have to see it before we can make the change. That idea that we're being mined was brought forward by my friend Lisa Peterson. She's a CFP, the author of the book Mindful Money. We'll have her on the podcast so you can hear more from her. But that also came from one of my longtime teachers, Charles Eisenstein, and he first brought this idea forward when he helped me to see that we're paying for the very things that we used to share in the past. Childcare needs to be commoditized. Really, the entire care economy is being commoditized in a way where we have to go to work to pay for the kind of care that we used to be able to get for free. Everything has been commoditized in a way that makes all of us feel as if we don't have enough. We're counting what we have in zeros and ones, the numbers in our bank account, instead of in our relationships, instead of in what we can give to each other, because we can't give to each other anymore because we have to charge for everything. There's no longer a sharing economy, a gifting economy. Instead, there's just a financial economy. But again, this is something that we can change when we recognize that the zeros and ones are replaceable. It's our time, energy, attention, relationships, health, our natural resources that aren't. And so when we stop sacrificing our non-renewable resources and recognize that money's infinite, we can step into our roles as creators of the economy. And we can recognize that as creators, we have the opportunity to actually change the game. And that's what I want to talk to you about now. So we have this real opportunity to create an entirely new game where instead of thinking about how much you can have, you can start to think about how little you actually need. We need so much less than we think. But because we are in a consumer economy that preys on our consumption, that tells us that we need more and more and more and more, we think, well, it's all about how much do I need, and having us think that we don't have enough. So the key to your liberation, the key to breaking free of this entire dynamic so that you're not being mined, so that you're moving out of the extractive system, it's really within your control. And the starting place is to identify how little you need to love your life. And I don't mean how little you need to just get by. That in and of itself is a money dysmorphia story too. Oh, I'm not going to care about money. I'm just going to have enough to get by. It's actually not about that. It's how little you need to love your life. And when you have a lot of great relationships, when you are able to live with other people and bring your costs down, when you're able to share things in your community, you actually find out that you need a lot less than you thought. And when you can get to that place and you know that you can earn what you need in alignment with your values, you're liberated, you're free. And that is the starting point to our collective liberation. So if you can be building your life from this foundation of how little do I need? How can I earn what I need in the time that I have in alignment with my values, which is something all of us can do, then we get out of this idea of, am I going to have enough? Am I going to have enough? Because you're no longer relying on trying to create passive income to have as much as possible by investing your money so that your money earns money on its money on its money, which isn't something that you can actually count on. But what you can always count on is knowing that you can earn what you need in alignment with your values when you know how little that is and exactly what you need to do to contribute to the world, and ask for what you need in exchange for what you have to give. This is how we start to become creators of the economy. This is how we start to move out of the extractive system that is based on consumption and start to step into our role as creators and eventually stewards of our collective resources and our family wealth. You begin to become sovereign and you begin to recognize, wow, I actually am rich. I have enough to start taking care of what I have. I'm gonna get good with money. And getting good with money doesn't mean becoming a multimillionaire or a billionaire. It means recognizing that what I have is worth a lot. And I'm gonna take care of what I have. And I'm gonna do it multi-generationally. And that doesn't just mean generational wealth into the future, it means looking backwards as well. Talking to your parents, seeing what they have, looking at all of your family resources together to see that, oh, wow, what we have is actually a lot. Maybe it's even more than I've been able to take care of. So I've been in this frantic feeling of I'm gonna run out. Meanwhile, I'm not taking care of what I have now. So it can start really simply with just looking at what you have, ideally on a cadence, weekly meetings with yourself, your spouse, maybe even friends that you set up. I call them LIFT meetings, legal, insurance, financial, tax. Monthly reviews of your financials where you're actually looking at how much came in, how much went out, what did it come in from, where did it go out to? And I'm not saying that you do that in order to cut your expenses, but to actually look at where do you want to be using your dollars to have a great life. Quarterly meetings with your family, annual meetings to minimize your taxes so that you've got as little as possible going out to the government and as much as possible staying in your family, staying in your community. And then aligning your resources toward what really matters. Really looking at what are you invested in right now? And so many people have so much money invested in retirement accounts that they think, I can't touch those resources. $27 trillion that we think are not within our control that are 100% within your control. Whether it's to be used now or 20 years or 30 or 40 years from now, how you're investing those resources really matters. You're not bad with money. The system is designed to make you think that you are, and at the same time, it is time for you to get into right relationship with money. And most importantly, your non-renewable resources, your time, your energy, your attention, your relationships, and your health. And when you do that, you can truly step into your role as a creator of the economy and a steward of your family wealth. This is why I've created this podcast, and I've created a Substack as well called the Great Wealth Transfer Substack. I will link to it in the comments. And I want to hear from you in the comments. What are the thoughts that have you think that you're bad with money? How can you see that the system is keeping you trapped? And what are the ways that you can see or have questions about how you can shift this dynamic for yourself? What is the next thing that you need to hear about to recognize that you are a creator of the economy, that you are a steward of your family wealth, and that we actually do have enough? Because when we come together, we truly can change the system. We're the creators of the system. We are the participants in the system. So if you have other people that you'd love to have a better relationship with money and our non-renewable resources, please share these videos, share the Substack, subscribe, follow, like, comment in the comments, and let me know what you're learning and what questions you have so that I can answer them. And check the show notes so that you know exactly which links to follow to gain more resources and knowledge and understanding, because it's our understanding of these systems that are going to be able to break the cycles, break the chains, create the new patterns and the new future reality that we want to live into together. I'll see you in the next podcast. None of this is legal, insurance, financial, or tax advice specific to you. It's here for educational and informational purposes only, really to help you with a kind of financial literacy that nobody gave us. And I want you to have so that we can change the system together, because that's what we're here for. And so that you can make eyes wide open decisions now and in the future, instead of what I call eyes squeezed shut decisions that has us as victims and prey of a system that really doesn't care about us making great decisions with our eyes wide open.